Hello and welcome to the South African Homeowners Kitchen and Bathrooms Trend Talk. My name is Pilani Bubu, and some of you may know me from the interior design TV show Design for You on the Home Channel. Now, inspired by the increased amount of time that we're spending at home these days, I'm sure we all have those niggly bits that we look at in our homes, and so we're taking a focus on kitchens and bathrooms today. And of course, the kitchen is always marked as, truly the heart of the home. And of course, the bathrooms, those sanctuaries we can all rely on. We'll be covering a range of topics from the latest kitchen and bathroom storage solutions, tiles and taps, popular designs and quality hardware that are worth investing in. And you'll also discover insights into how to begin your home renovation and also those handleless furniture solutions, opening systems, cabinets, etc. So we have a jam-packed evening and we hope that you'll enjoy. Now, to begin this conversation, I want to encourage you to participate in the live chat because you have the opportunity to win a prize. Now, the most compelling and relevant questions will win top prizes. We have 3 prizes up for grabs. We have a 500 Rand voucher from Hirsch's, a shower head with the value of 1.5 from Classic Luxury, and a 1-year subscription to South African Homeowner magazine, both print and digital, for your mobile or your desktop to inspire you with your home interiors. So be sure to join the conversation, and we'll have a draw at the end of this discussion, and the winners will be announced. Before we start the discussion, of course, we have to be welcomed by our hosts. And Luthfia Bhabha is the editor of South Africa Homeowner magazine, and here she is to welcome us all.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining the SA Homeowner Kitchen and Bathroom Trends Talk. My name is Luthfia, as Pilani has said, and I'm the editor. Now, not only am I thrilled to present our first ever webinar, with the lovely Pilani, of course, but I'd also like to take this opportunity to share the first look of our cover for the September 30th birthday issue, which basically means we've been around for the past 30 years. Now, obviously, I want to gloat, and give you guys a sneak preview of what it looks like so that everyone can rush off, to the stores when it's available. This is what it looks like. And it will be available, if I'm not mistaken, sometime next week, the 4th of September. It will be available in all major retail stores. So please, guys, make sure you go out there and you grab it and join in. Let's celebrate this milestone together. As you know, it's been quite a journey, and I'm very excited, so yeah. Of course, we'll be mentioning it as well on our social media platforms, so you can see that as well. You can check it out there as well. And feel free to comment, wish us a happy birthday, and yeah, we'll comment back and say thank you. So yeah, I'm very excited, and thank you to everyone. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to our viewers, for joining us, and all the best to everyone. And over to you, Pilani. I know we'll be going over to our video right now, so yeah, thank you, and let's enjoy.
Discover modern classic designs and indulge in 55 pages of luxe local properties in the 196-page August 2020 issue of SA Homeowner. We bring you our annual Kitchens and Bathrooms special section featuring multifunctional kitchen design, the latest kitchen hardware and accessory trends, how to turn your bathroom into a tech-savvy spa oasis, and a whole lot more. Don't miss out on a home designed to lap up the beauty of its surroundings, as well as detailed features on trendy yet timeless kids' bedrooms, the latest in window treatments, cutting-edge home security systems, gorgeous green decor products, and the impact of COVID-19 on the property market. There's also an exciting print-digital combination subscription offer and prizes worth over 56,000 Rand, and much more inspiration, all in the August 2020 issue of SA Homeowner magazine. You can buy your copy at major retail outlets and online on Zenio and Magster. 196 pages, informed, innovative, inspired. Welcome home.
Thank you very much, Luthfia, and congratulations to the SA Homeowner for their 30th edition. The cover looks fantastic. Now, I'd like to take a moment to introduce our participants for this discussion today. I have with me Margaret Hirsch, the Executive Director at Hirsch's. I have Paul Brown, who's the Managing Director at Hirsch's, as well as Charisse Gray, who's the Marketing Manager at Blum South Africa, Wesley Wild, who's the Sales and Technical Manager at Blum South Africa, as well as Shazeen Jooma, Marketing Director at Classic Luxury, and Luthfia Bhabha, Marketing Coordinator at Classic Luxury. Now, they all come with a wealth of experience and a wealth of knowledge for us to share in. I'm going to begin my first question to Margaret Hirsch. You've been in the industry and the business of homemaking and appliances for decades. Will you start off by sharing with us what you feel are some of the most important qualities every kitchen and bathroom space should have?
Well, it has to be something that you feel comfortable in most of all. It's no good trying to get something that's going to look good and other people are going to say, well, that looks good if you're not happy with it. I think color is so, so important. And while muted colors have been fashionable for a very long time, black kitchens are now coming back. And I was just saying the other day, I had my first black kitchen way back in the 70s because I've been doing this particular job for 41 years now. So I've been looking at people's kitchens for 41 years. I think it's important to have something that you really like. Invisible kitchens are now the trend at the moment. So my new kitchen is completely invisible. When you walk into my house, you can't see the kitchen, and I press a button and all the doors fold back and then the kitchen just appears. So I think you've got to have something that you really enjoy. I think it has to be a part of the house now. So when all my doors fold back, it's in the dining room. The kitchen arrives in the dining room. So it's really, really spectacular. And so you've got to have, in the old days, the wife would be in the kitchen cooking and the family would be doing something else. Now everybody's together. So you have a breakfast nook that's close by. You have your water, your cooking and your fridge all within reaching distance. And it's definitely a kitchen is now the living room of the house. And especially now over lockdown, so many people that never went into their kitchens before, they were always at work and go out on weekends. Now first of all, they had to cook when it was locked down. And secondly, they had to just be comfortable with all their appliances and know that they can work them. I had a guy phone me. He'd had his oven for 12 years. He didn't know how to switch it on. So that's what the sort of thing that we saw over COVID. And yeah, people are in their houses much more now than they ever were. So they want it to be really nice. They want to be comfortable. They want products that will work really well for them. So and that are easy to use, and then just know how to use them, which is the most important thing.
Right. So outside of the it being comfortable and warm, the qualities in the kitchen are basically determined by what we do in the kitchen. And these days, as you say, the kitchen is the social space. It's also the heart of the home. It's where everybody gathers together. Now, would you then say that we can ultimately define the perfect mood for any kitchen? And what would you say that is?
It's such a personal choice because personally, I like something that's very classic and clean. Other people like something that's cottagey and homely. That's why you have to have it. You have to design it especially for your personal taste. So you can actually put your whole personality into that kitchen. When I walk into a woman's kitchen, I can tell you exactly what her personality is like.
And, outside of the things that we have in our kitchen and looking a particular way and great design, these things actually have to be used. Now, I'd like to talk about materials and design and function with Shazeen from Classic Luxury. Shazeen, what is your opinion on this? What qualities should a kitchen have when you're thinking about these materials, durability, design, and function?
I think it's so important for the kitchens to be functional and practical. That's basically where I personally say women spends most of their time, and especially as Margaret mentioned, during the lockdown, people have never been at home and cooked so much before probably. So we're seeing a trend now where people are very much focused to what appliances they put into their home, the size of their ovens, the durability of their worktops, and also, just if the space is big enough, functional enough for them to do exactly what they need to do,
Right. So in terms of materials, you're then seeing that choices are increasing in quality, because if you're using things more, obviously, they need more durability and more longevity. Is this the case?
Definitely. I think definitely this is the case. I personally have noticed a shift where people are definitely looking for something with a good quality after sales service, a brand that maybe they've built trust with now, because you often find the person will say, no, I tended to go for something very cheap in terms of a kitchen appliance or kitchen worktop. And after 5 or 6 years, I had to replace it, So there's definitely a mentality shift from, especially with our South Africans, to say now that cheap is actually expensive in the long run. So I definitely agree with you when you say that now people have a focus on quality, as well as obviously the aesthetic appeal in the overall kitchen.
Now, you deal a lot with tiles and specific choices in the kitchen that, basically cover the overall look. What would you then say are the trends in the materials that people are going for tops, for tiles, and what are those durable materials, within the trend?
So I think when it comes to the tiles, we're seeing a big shift in especially when it comes to kitchen splashbacks. We're seeing a lot of color, a pop of color. Everyone wants to introduce a color that matches with the rest of their kitchen. So rose gold, polished gold, as well as brass and brushed black finishes are at the moment, I think, are a huge trend. What we have seen from our side, selling the kitchen products, that the kitchen sink is often a very big decision for the woman in the home. She wants something where her big pots can fit in, something that's comfortable for her to do the dishwashing and that kind of thing. So there's also been a shift from where kitchen sinks were traditionally stainless steel. There's a new material in the market which is called fray granite. So it's kind of like a hard stone, and that comes in various colors as well. So like white, anthracite, as well as like a rock gray. So that's been extremely popular. I think it goes into every new home now. And we're also seeing that, I think, when it comes to the countertops, stuff like neolith and Caesar stone are ever present in everyone's homes, and matte and polished finishes that often replicate marble.
Oh, right. Thank you very much for those specifications. I'd like to direct my next question to Paul from Hirsch. Now, thinking about all the needs that people have in their homes at this time, what appliances have you noticed that are becoming more popular in the kitchen and the bathroom space?
Pilani, thanks very much for having me on here, firstly, and thanks to the SA Homeowner team. We've seen over this lockdown time, people, I think probably the most popular appliance we've seen, and the one that's been under most kind of demand at the moment, has been a dishwasher. I think, as everyone's already alluded, we've spent way too much time in our kitchens, and we've probably baked and cooked more than we ever have. And that's meant we've created more dishes. So we've seen huge demand for dishwashers. I think Shazeen also said there, we've seen people investing in those products. They're buying better quality dishwashers, fully stainless steel units. We've also seen, things like the air fryer. I think the air fryer is a really popular product at the moment. I think it's the perfect appliance for a busy family, especially a family with kids. So we've seen huge demand for that product as well. And then there's a couple of statement pieces, which maybe we'll talk about a bit later. But I think people have realized that the kitchen is, maybe as Margaret mentioned earlier, the kitchen is the heart of the home. It's become part of the living area. And you can make some statements with your kitchen and some of the appliances you buy. But certainly dishwashers, that's the popular one at the moment, and I understand why.
Well, the dishwasher is at the end of the experience, and it's the pet hate. But, thinking about the beginning of the experience and why people come together, it's more about the culinary experience in the kitchen. What ideas, have you been exploring that are stretching that experience for families, for the home bakers, for the home cooks?
So I think the introduction of steam cooking. I think steam cooking, and in the fancy restaurants, you have, the Michelin star restaurants, the chefs use a sous vide style of cooking, and that steam cooking is probably the most, I suppose, the closest we will get to it as a home cook. But that steam cooking is really, it's changed. I think it's changed the way we cook. It's much more healthy. It leaves the nutrients in the food. And you can still, with steam cooking and steam baking, you can still produce a really crispy chicken. And so we've seen that. And I think people are sort of a lot more aware of that now. They're a lot more aware of the health sort of elements of cooking and how important it is to be healthy. So yeah, we've definitely seen that. And steam cooking is something that I think's around for a while. The other thing we've seen is that induction cooking, because we have these electricity issues, induction cooking seems to be a lot more popular now. Induction appliances use a lot less energy and can almost take you off the grid. So we've seen that increase in popularity as well.
Can you tell us what induction means? I mean, I'm definitely one of the ignorant ones when it comes to that.
Right. So induction cooking is basically the use of, and I'm not going to get too technical on this, but it's basically the use of magnets to cook. So the area that's heated, your pot has to be magnetic, and the area that's heated is very specific, and so there is no loss of energy and loss of heat. So it's just actually in Europe, I think if you introduce radiant heating, so like our good old traditional D-fire stove that has a hot plate on it, that doesn't exist in Europe anymore. They'll just have induction heating, and it's just much more energy efficient, and it's going to save you money in the long run.
Right. While we're on appliances, Paul, I'd just like you to just make a quick summary, thinking about trends, but also thinking about functionality. What are the 3 top big ticket items for the kitchen at the moment, outside of the dishwasher? And what are the small must-haves that everybody's kind of splurging on?
So I think I'll start with the small must-haves. I think that's a really easy question at the moment. Smeg kettles and toasters seem to be all the rage. They have the most.
It has to do with the pops of color.
They've absolutely got the pops of color. They started with the whole pastel sort of colors, mint green, baby blue, and baby pink. But they're very trendy. Smeg have done an incredible job in building a brand and creating that trend and that desirability that I suppose everyone really wants to have a Smeg in their kitchen, and that's the easy answer. We've seen huge demand for that product. And it's a real statement piece in the kitchen. I think I sort of referred to it earlier. I think lots of people admire your kitchen when you've got a Smeg kettle and toaster in it. So I'd say that. And then look, I'm a father of 2 young boys, and so I'm going to go back to that air fryer and tell you that I think that's the most important appliance in the house right now, because you can go from hungry children to fed children in the space of about 8 minutes. So you do your fish fingers or chicken nuggets or whatever it may be. So that is there for simple convenience. I mean, you just have to have it. And I've talked about it already, but if you don't have a dishwasher in your home now, please get one. You will, 1, save water, 2, you will save money, and 3, you will save a lot of hassle for you and your partner. So get yourself a dishwasher. That's my advice at the moment.
All right, thank you very much, Paul. Now, Luthfia, the bathrooms tend to be the forgotten spaces in the house. We often think after we've chosen the base and the shower head and the tiling and the backsplash, we're done. What do you find are the things that people are bringing into their bathrooms now that are, enhancing the experience that we want to have in our bathrooms?
Thank you for having us, Pilani, again, and thank you to SA Homeowner. I think with regards to what people are now bringing into their bathrooms it's generally a flow from the bedroom, from like an ensuite perspective. There would be a flow into the bathroom area, even with the living area moving to a guest bathroom. There's a lot of flow throughout the house. I think under normal circumstances, they would be viewed as isolated areas and didn't have as much of a flow. I think also lots of people are paying more attention to the type of products that they're putting into their bathrooms. As Shazeen had touched on earlier, quality is very, very important. And with that, the styling that you are taking into your bathroom. So you're looking for reputable products that have a combination of both fashion and function. So I think that's very important to what people are bringing into their households right now.
Right. And what are the things that people aren't particularly using for function, but are decorating with?
I think, to be totally honest, from our perspective, anything at Classic is both functional and fashionable. So from our side, I think that you get the best of both. You are able to furnish things with works of art. We're currently looking at like your basins, for instance, that are countertop, that are made with like precious stone, that kind of thing, because people are looking at creating this landscape within their homes of a work of art, of a masterpiece. It needs to reflect yourself. It needs to reflect your creativity and your personality as well. So in that regard, I feel like a lot of that is coming over in terms of finding pieces that are more artful than the generic type of design that you would find.
I love that idea, creating a landscape. And the landscape actually brings me back to our main theme today, creating a spa experience, or at least a sanctuary experience in our bathrooms. What are the top trends there?
From a spa perspective, obviously with the entire COVID situation, I'm sure anybody that enjoys the lap of luxury misses the spa a lot and misses that luxury of the spa a lot. So in that regard, there's obviously the introduction of your freestanding bathtubs that give a more luxurious spa-like feel to your space. There are also advancements in technology from a spa and wellness perspective in terms of your chromotherapy, your aromatherapy, the ergonomics of your freestanding tubs, your entire space, your shower heads, your taps, that kind of thing. Everything is more ergonomically friendly and trying to give you more of a wellness feel.
Thank you very much, Luthfia. Wesley Blum, we want to hear from you. Now, a lot of your work focuses on the technical elements in the kitchen and, of course, you know, the sales that are generated by meeting true needs in design, which is what design is about. I'd like you to take us through the innovation in kitchen appliances that's happening now. And of course, with necessity, a lot of us were stock buying and stockpiling. So storage and keeping food fresher for longer has become a necessity in itself. And of course, it shouldn't look tacky because design solves or creates solutions. So can you tell us what's happening in that space and how are we, you know, evolving in that way to keep with storage and to keep our food fresher for longer?
Hi, Pilani, and thank you to SA Homeowner and all the viewers joining us. It's when it comes to the Blum point of view, we've done a lot of studies through many years to a concept called dynamic space, where we try and utilize space to the maximum using our products. So we always suggest maximizing your storage capacity in your kitchen, using products such as our space tower, which is used mostly for food storage, is basically replacing the existing pantry cupboard. I think we've all had an experience where you've got into the back of your pantry cupboard and found that can of beans that expired 10 years ago because you don't see it at the back of the cupboard. So having the pull-out drawer system like we have makes everything visible and easily accessible for everyone in the home. And that's quite important. This is why we develop products like our new space step system, which allows people to reach the top of their cupboards. It's a step built into the kick plate of a kitchen, which also includes a storage drawer inside that as well. So that increases your storage capacity. So increasing storage is something that actually does help improving freshness. Not dealing directly with appliances ourselves, we do have products that are companion products for appliances. We do have an electronic touch open system that works with integrated fridge freezers and dishwashers, touching on what Paul said earlier. So this allows you to have handleless integrated appliances. What is the benefit of this is where it links to the freshness is that if you accidentally have to bump the fridge, for example, and it should open, if you don't fully open it within 10, 15 seconds, it will actually pull itself closed again. So the fridge won't stay open, overfreeze, the alarm won't go off at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, those kind of things won't happen. So that's where we are linking in with the appliances and trying to work with all the manufacturers and all the parties involved in the kitchen.
Just one more question from me. What is the most accessible and hardware in the kitchen that's worth investing in at the moment?
I would say if for nothing else, you should at the very least have a well-designed and installed, with obviously the correct products, pantry cupboard, food storage. I think that everyone underestimates just how much space they can save with a well-organized food cupboard.
Thank you very much, Wesley Wild. Now, Shazeen, are you seeing the same thing in your business in terms of these innovative trends and storage? Shazeen still with us? Great, we'll move along.
I think you're right. There's definitely a trend towards people moving towards storage in the bathroom. So previously, we used to notice that people would put a pedestal under their wash hand basin and you couldn't really fit anything in there. All you just do is just hide the plumbing. So now there's been so many innovations in terms of storage, with the most common one being now a vanity cupboard that floats and it's fitted directly under the wash basin. So that's perfect because often detergents can be kept there. I mean, the men or the women's toiletries and that kind of stuff can be kept there, easily accessible. So if you just want to have a shave, all your stuff's there under. The other thing we're seeing that's come back in now is a tall boy cupboard. So just for the viewers that are not sure what a tall boy cupboard, it's a vertical cupboard, maybe 80 centimeters long, that sits anywhere in the bathroom where there's a space. So it doesn't stick out too much, but it's space saving, and yet you can store a lot of products in there, whatever the need may be to fit in there. We're also seeing now where a lot of people would just put a mirror over the wash hand basin. The mirror now is integrated with a cabinet. So behind the beautiful mirror is a storage space for all your essential products.
Oh, right. That's very insightful. Thank you. Our viewers are shooting off with a lot of questions. We're going to try and leave some space for them at the end to find out more about these innovative solutions and break down some of the jargon. Before we move on into our next set of questions, Charisse Gray is also with us, and we'd love to hear from her. And the question I have from her is around tiling solutions in the kitchen and the bathroom. Which ones, really influence the design of the space and can really pull things together? Tiles and tap solutions, if you may.
Thanks, Pilani. I'm going to be honest, tiles are not really my forte. I'm more for the hardware. But with regards to integrating and flowing your tiles into your cabinetry, Blum has come up with a thin front solution that can allow the flow of your countertops in the bathroom or even in your kitchen. So the stone top flows from the top to the bottom. It works really beautifully. It's accessible on doors, drawers, as well as some of our Ventos units. The trend that we're going for lately that we've been finding is textured as well as some polished, but color is really important. As Margaret mentioned earlier, the dark theme has been coming back into trend as well. So yeah, really exciting things that are happening in the market of tiles and our solutions for them in our cabinetry.
Thank you very much. Well, Luthfia, I don't know if you'd like to comment on some of what Charisse has said in terms of statements and tiling and tap choices.
Well, with regards to the current trends that are going on, I think that there's a great inclination towards modernized marble. So it pays homage to the traditional design while still staying trendy enough for contemporary feels. That and obviously industrial chic is always, it's always a trend. So introducing textures in that regard and character in that regard helps adding a soft neutral tone to your surface, giving you a greater ability in terms of your creativity, be it with your appliances, your cabinetry, or other furnishings. I think with regards to the actual tiles in itself, large format tiles are definitely a go-to currently, be it for a feature wall, be it for a large space. It allows a seamless finish throughout your home. So those are definitely, in terms of a tiling perspective, what people are touching on at the moment.
Thank you very much. So in my next section, I'd like to pick up the energy and give each of our, I'd like to say, participants, which are coming in different companies. We have Hirsch's, we have Classic Luxury, we have Blum South Africa, and I want to end off whatever it is that I asked with your last remarks, so that we can keep time for our viewers to get more from us in terms of insights. So I'll start with Hirsch's, with Paul and Margaret. And I wanted to sum up from everything we've described in terms of creating sociability in the kitchen, sociability in the home, in terms of its warmth, its comfortability, but also design. What would you say describes the best appliances that create this multi-purpose, that help us with this kind of warm environment? It can be some of the most luxurious, unnecessary elements to, at the end of the spectrum, the number one is the dishwasher of Hirsch. So I think let's stretch it out to go, what are those like super trendy items that are really, I mean, is it like a chocolate making machine? Is it, are we people making homemade ice cream?
We have all of those. We have chocolate machines, we have ice cream makers, we have ice makers, you name it, we have it. I think that the most important thing is the oven. You know, your oven really can make or break that whole cooking experience. You've got to have a really good oven. And so today we normally put the oven and we put the microwave above it because everybody needs a microwave for speed. But yeah, there's so many different things that are coming through today. I like to build everything in myself. I like it all completely built in. There is something like the LG Solar Dome, which is a fantastic machine. It's a slow cooker. It's an air fryer. It will even make biltong. It'll make yogurt. It is one small container that can do 1,000 things. So I think that's really important because a lot of kitchens are quite small. You know, not everybody has a big spacious kitchen where they can spread everything out. So something like the Solar Dome or convection microwave would definitely save you a lot of time and energy. I think the one thing we've missed out on is the laundry, and the laundry is really important as well because laundry is, I mean, it's a big part of everybody's life. And when we went under lockdown and my domestic worker was working from home, for her home, not my home, I got myself a combined washer dryer, which was the best thing I ever did because I was putting the washing in and taking it, putting it in the tumble dryer, and then I'd forget it and it would end up all creased and horrible. I bought myself a combined washer dryer. It was the best thing. You put the washing in. So in the morning, I do the sheets and towels. I press the button. It washes them. It rinses and spins. It dries them. And it's got a fluff cycle that takes all the creases out. And then in the day, we don't have a dirty wash box. When we take our clothes off, we put them straight into the machine, press the button, and it washes, rinses, dries them, fluffs them up. You literally hang them up, put them in the cupboard. The other thing that I did is I'd never done my own ironing since I was about 20, which was 50 years ago. So the first thing I ironed, I burnt. And I'm, oh my God, this is terrible. So I went out and I bought the new Philips iron, which it's impossible to burn anything. It doesn't have a thermostat. It regulates itself. So it knows if you're ironing blue jeans or a silk shirt. So that was an amazing appliance, which I absolutely love. I also bought for my really nice things because, you know, we live in Durban, so we have a lot of sequins and things. We love that. So I bought myself a steamer, so I didn't have to iron over that. So I had a steamer. So we have amazing, amazing appliances, right down to the toothbrush where the vibration takes the plaque with your teeth. So, and you can put that in your new bathroom and you won't even know yourself. It's so amazing. So, yeah, we have beautiful stuff. We have wonderful convection microwaves. To me, that's the way to go because you have the speed of microwave cooking, but it's crisp and brown like you used to it. Gas today is huge with all of the load shedding and that type of thing. You've got to have a gas hob because when load shedding strikes, oh my goodness, you can't even make yourself a cup of tea. So, yeah, gas hobs and gas. I don't recommend a gas oven unless you really, you know what you're doing. But the gas top with an electric oven is definitely the way to go. It's fantastic. So, yeah, we have lots and lots of things like that. And we have all the small gadgets, the steamers, the air fryers, the ice cream makers, the chocolate fountains, popcorn makers, you name it, we've got it.
Right. I love everything you've just said, and thank you so much, all of that. You know, of course, they say that you can't be a business maker and someone who solves solutions if the solution wasn't necessary in your life. So thanks for sharing your personal insights as well. So I'll ask Paul to give us any closing remarks from Hirsch's.
Thanks, Pilani. I think the one thing Margaret's left out, and it's probably a hot topic at the moment, is a wine fridge. It's probably the next thing I want to try and add to my kitchen. I think wine has probably become in high demand, as we know. We've been caught off sides a couple of times, so I think a lot of people have recently invested in a lot of wine, and we're seeing a huge demand for wine fridges, and we have such a wonderful range from under-counter wine coolers to the really big ones. If you've got a nice wine collection. So we've seen a lot of people investing in those, and they're so nice to have. And as we've already said, the kitchen has become such a social part of the home, and you can just see that social environment with your wine fridge there, and opening up onto the dining room. So yeah, I think that's something that we've seen a lot of demand for, and I can totally understand and want to have in my kitchen. That along with, I suppose I should be the responsible father and say that also a washer dryer combo, and but I'm going to go with the wine fridge.
Do you remember we go back to when lockdown first started? What was our biggest seller? It was freezers, because people had used to go to shop every day, and suddenly you couldn't get there. So freezers became huge. I mean, we literally sold out of every freezer, chest freezer, upright freezer we had, because people, they had to buy stuff. I mean, you could get to the shop and get stuff. You bought enough to last you. So freezers were huge over lockdown as well.
Right. Yep. All right. Thank you very much to the Hirsch's team, and thank you so much for joining us. Of course, I'll thank you at the end, but I'm trying to power through so that we can get our viewers to ask you the most important questions. Now, to the Blum team, my question to you is about handleless furniture and that trend. And, you know, what are the kinks? What are the positives? And I'm sure, you know, we're pushing for the positives, but I find sometimes, like, you know, with handless furniture, there's so much magneticism that I'm constantly like battling with the cabinet. But there are also positives because it's slick and it's a great design. It creates beautiful silhouettes. So tell us more about that, and then one of your team members can give us a closing remark from your side.
I'll take on the handleless. Pilani, I've heard comments such as yours many times, generally from people not using products from reputable suppliers, shall we say. Unfortunately, the quality of the products is very indicative of the functionality of the products, and it is very important that the quality product is used in installation. We are finding fairly often that the end user is not as up to speed with what's available. They might be aware of a brand such as ourselves, Blum, and they might ask for Blum. Less reputable installers might say they are putting in what they've requested and they're not actually getting what they're paying for. That would be the equivalent of asking for a smeg kettle and getting a smug kettle. You know, it's no, it is. It's unfortunate. It is true. Being the #1 brand in furniture hardware in the world at Blum is, we are often imitated and never replicated. So we put a lot of research and development with winners. We have thousands of patents worldwide, 200 new patents in the last year alone, and we put the effort in, and it's selling in the quality of our products and the longevity of our products. We have a lifetime mechanical warranty on all of our products, which we are back up with after-sales service. Even if the kitchen manufacturer that has installed your product is defunct, if there's a problem with your product, you can contact us and we will come and sort it out. So that is the kind of effort that you have and the kind of thing you have. With handleless furniture, we have mechanical options, electronic options. Obviously, electronic options, I would say, in the current climate, get yourself a battery backup. Otherwise, you might have a hard time opening your drawers when there's load shedding. And where do we keep our spare candles? In the drawers. So, yeah, give it a backup battery for that one. But yes, handleless furniture works well if it's a good quality product. Unfortunately, if it's not as in the top tier products, you do tend to have struggles. They'll fall off. They don't release correctly. It can become a bit of a frustration. And that's when generally we find people trying to move away from it because they're not working with a quality product. So yes, handleless products, very nice from a function point of view. Beautiful style lines, keeps very clean lines in the kitchen, but it has to be a good quality product.
Fantastic. Thanks, Wesley. Charisse, something insightful. Tell us what you think we should take away.
One thing that, a few things that people need to take into consideration when they're planning their next kitchen is take your lifestyle, shopping habits, cooking routines, and family size into consideration when you plan your next kitchen. It's very important to make sure that that these factors play a positive role within your kitchen planning. So from a space optimization, workflow within your kitchen, how many steps you take between your fridge, your microwave, your work surface between chopping and going to the bin, all those things play a vital role in your kitchen. And when it comes to the handleless furniture, when you've got a handful of potato peels and you don't know how to put it in the bin, you just bump it with your knee. And we have a solution that you just are able to open the bin quickly, get rid of it, close the drawer, walk away, and continue with your cooking routine. So yeah, these are just a few things that you should take into consideration and focus on quality and durable furniture fittings when it comes to buying hardware for your kitchen. Lifetime guarantees. Our products look beautiful, they are practical, and we haven't been in the market for so long if we were doing something wrong. So we've got to be doing something right.
Thank you. I didn't even know lifetime guarantees existed.
I'll add in a little ditty there. Blum has a saying that they use in a few of our internal videos and things like that. And basically, it's a very simple concept for the viewers to keep in mind. And it's open, close, and slide, then decide. Once you've opened and closed the drawer and you see the action of the drawer, you can tell immediately if that's going to work for you. Someone says something closes softly, great. How does it actually close softly? That's the telling difference.
Wow, that sounds like a life philosophy as well. Open, close, and slide. Next. Thank you very much, Blum, South Africa. Now, classic luxury. I want you to dig into all those specifications, all those elements that, complete the design. Some of them are sexy. Some of them are those things we hate replacing. Those faucets, those shower heads, the tap. So tell us what designs we can look out for in taps and in shower heads.
Pilani, I think when it comes to shower heads, you can look out for multifunctional shower heads. Shower heads are not coming with just one plain setting anymore. I think because the end user pays so much attention towards the shower experience that they get, they're constantly striving for something different at shower time. So we're seeing a change in the way the water comes out, while still being eco-friendly. So that means there's shower heads that are saving up to 60% of water. We're seeing now with a rain shower, one of the major objections was always that it still didn't have enough pressure. So now there's shower heads where you get a soft rain and a hard rain in one shower head. So at the push of a button, you get a harder rain shower head. I think that's really amazing. I think when it comes to the bathroom, people, I think, forget how important the selection of your WC is. So choosing a good toilet that looks good, but that's very comfortable.
Wash closet. Everyone, the wash closet. Yeah, go.
It's a very, very important aspect of the bathroom, And we're seeing a trend now, I think, especially during the pandemic, where there's a big focus towards hygiene and less touch and that kind of thing. So I think if you want to look out for something in the future, it's look out for the washlet, where it's something where the seat opens and closes automatically. So as soon as you go near, toilet seat opens. When you walk away, toilet seat closes. It washes you, it dries you, it gives you a heated seat. So I think we're seeing that has become very, very popular, as well as the color in the bathroom, the overall color. So previously people would just introduce color in the soft furnishings, like your rugs and your blinds and that kind of thing. Now we're seeing the pop of color introduced into the brassware and into the hardware. So colors like matte black, I think everyone knows matte black's probably the most in color at the moment. Obviously from a maintenance perspective, for those who are very wise about cleaning, that's a topic on its own. But yeah,
I think those are really good. I think we should give Luthfia a chance to just give us one closing insight, and then I'm going to shoot with my viewer questions.
Sure, thank you, Pilani. Just to touch on what Shazeen had been saying, in the form of color in sanitary ware, we're seeing it in our basins as well. There's a beautiful pastel range that is now available at Classic. There are also our stainless steel basins in the form of gold, rose gold, copper. So it's all these beautiful, elegant colors that you're able to now put into your bathroom without having to do too much of damage into the actual renovation part. You're able to make little changes from a furnishing perspective that could make massive changes in character to your bathroom space. And with Classic's 27 years of longevity and prosperity, you're sure to find anything to bring your vision to life in our space. So thank you so much.
I love that statement pieces are not just in the living room, they're now in our bathrooms and our kitchens. That's fantastic. I'd like to take this opportunity to announce our winners who've been engaged in the chat and also coupled with their questions. Now, I might have to be very direct with who answers these questions because we're running out of time. So our first winner who wins the 500 voucher from Hirsch's is Musisiwe. And she asked, what is the durability of glossy finishes? So I'm going to direct this to Blum South Africa, and hey, Wesley, will you give us an answer?
Sure, certainly. I'd imagine that Siwe is referring to the glossy drawer or door fronts. It really comes down to the surface that it's manufactured from. We are seeing fairly durable frontages that are being done. Lately, there's wrap, there's sprayed surfaces, A high quality sprayed surface will generally wear. If you have small children, I generally suggest don't go with high gloss because you will have sticky fingerprints all over the place. And with cleaning it, you will lose your gloss eventually. If you really want to keep a high gloss finish, the best way to go is to actually use our thin front hinge on a product like a stone-based product, thin front, 8mm solid stone. That's a gloss polish. It won't fade very easily for sure. So that's probably your best way to go if you definitely don't want it to fade.
Great, thank you very much. Our next winner is, well, they don't seem to have a name, Leb, so they're a bathroom winner, but we'll trace them back. Their question, I'm going to direct to Classic Luxury, Luthfia, maybe you can go ahead. How durable are matte black taps?
I'm actually going to pass this over to Shazeen because he is your product specialist. So I'll let him give this question a go.
Mm-hmm.
So the matte black taps that we particularly stock are as durable as chrome taps from an internal perspective, because the cartridges and all the brassware is exactly the same. In terms of the finish, I think it comes down to how whether it's been powder coated or whether it's been sprayed right through. To answer the question directly from the suppliers that we sell the matte black taps, they come with a 15-year warranty. So they would give you the same durability as a chrome tap. However, I do suggest that the homeowners exercise caution in terms of the cleaning products they use on their matte black taps.
All right. So this winner, you win 1,500 Rand worth of value of the shower head from Classic Luxuries. That makes sense for you. So thank you very much for submitting your question. I'm going to find out who your name is. Oh, we're not sure anymore. This is how these things go. Our last question is a question around the kitchen from Belinda. And now I think Hirsch's or Blum can take this one. How do you incorporate a pantry in a kitchen? Now, I'm assuming this is a spatial issue or potentially layout issue. Yeah.
Yeah, can I answer that one? Because I've just done that in my own home now. I came into it, and of course, I was always buying every day. And then suddenly I'm in lockdown and I'm miles from anywhere. So I had to organize a pantry. So I actually built on outside my back door. And what was once the courtyard is now a fantastic walk-in pantry. So you've got to, I think you have to have an extra area. You can't in a normal kitchen build in a pantry unless you put all the Blum products in it, which I've done in my new kitchen, where I pull it out and all the tins come out in little rows. That's very nice. But I've just built a walk-in pantry, and I think it's the best thing I ever did. I've got an extra fridge in there. I've got shelves in there, and I've got all the dishes that you don't use every day. I've got all my baking ware. I've got everything, my air fryer, my slow cooker, my one pot, everything is out there. So it just made that whole kitchen area so much more tidy. To me, having a pantry is the best thing you could ever do. If you've got the space, it's just so worthwhile. I just put a roof onto my back courtyard and closed it in. It turned out to be the most fantastic pantry. But before I close, I just want to say one of our other biggest sellers over lockdown has been vacuum cleaners, because for the first time, a lot of people had to clean their own houses. And we sold vacuum cleaners. We actually sold out of vacuum cleaners. You could not buy a Dyson vacuum cleaner from us. And people were buying the more expensive vacuum cleaners. I mean, those come at about 10,000 Rand a pop. And they really went incredibly well. Ironing boards, we sold ironing boards like there was no tomorrow. And I know for myself.
Were people not ironing their clothes? Were they ironing them on the bed or what?
A domestic worker was ironing the clothes, and she had my ironing board. I didn't even know she bought it herself. It was about as thick as a ruler, and I had to iron the sheets. Oh my gosh! So I went out and got myself a new Babancha ironing board, which is fabulous. Yeah. So we sold lots of vacuum cleaners, lots of Babancha ironing boards, yes, and lots of floor cleaners, because, you know, we didn't have them made with the mop anymore. So we got those cartridges that you just put the water in and it washed the floor and vacuumed it up straight away. Fantastic products, yeah.
Now, there's a lot of things that have happened during lockdown. Loungewear, I mean, here's me with my fabulous satin kimono. And so luxury also is on the upkeep because retail therapy is a thing. So I have one more question for you. and we can answer it, and then we can close our webinar. They want to know the Dolce & Gabbana appliances in your background. Where are those from?
They're also from Hirsch's. So we've got the Dolce & Gabbana in the background here, the kettle, the toaster, the juicer. There's a whole range, and they're absolutely beautiful. We have them in our stores, and you can order them online as well. So yeah, go in and order today. They are fabulous. That is a statement piece. That's a luxury piece, and it's a piece of art in your kitchen. So yeah, fantastic.
Right. Well, thank you so much to our esteemed panel for your insights and your wealth of knowledge. I think there's so many choices to make and so many considerations, from functionality to the spectrum of design. And the biggest thing is that statement pieces are moving far out of the area into the kitchen, into the bathrooms, but also we're creating the mood that we want and accommodating the family and accommodating ourselves within our homes, because often we haven't lived within our homes, and now our homes are everything and every space that we need. So thank you to our viewers for joining in. We hope that you've been helped by all of this. Please note this webinar is being recorded, and you can find the recording on our Facebook page, the YouTube page. And thank you to SA Homeowner for having me, Pilani Bubu, as well as our panel tonight. Thank you very much and good evening.